Today, I want to talk about something that's pretty important to me. I was listening to Brian Koppelman. He said there was some people out there saying that you really shouldn't be pursuing your dreams. It's just a pipe thing and you're going to be disappointed and you should just really make a good living and make money and do something that is solid and stable and just make sure that you can make a living and be comfortable. And I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I think that you should pursue your dreams. And I know people like that. I have pursued my dreams my entire life. It's not to say it's been easy. In fact, many times it's been difficult. I haven't always made much money along the way. There have been times I've made more than others. I'm doing okay now, but boy, there have been some lean times, some really lean times along the way, and I've had to work many jobs. Sometimes I've had to work 2-3 jobs at a time, go from one job to a second job in the same day. I'd have it rough. And then get up really early just to be able to do what I want to do, what feeds my soul and feeds my heart. I think the stressful issues are that you have to work through them. The only way out, they say, is through, and that, I believe, is true. I think the more you confront those things that are stressful in your life, the less stressful they become. So I know that sounds sort of counterintuitive, and it seems most people want to avoid them, avoid the stress, kind of run away from it, don't deal with it, and hope that it just resolves itself or that they can leave it alone. Do I think all dreams are achievable? Yes, but here's the thing. If you dream of being a big Hollywood star, I don't know that that dream is achievable. Stardom is achievable, but if you have it in your heart that you want to be an actress, that you want to have fulfilling roles, that you want to achieve something that means something to you, that you want to do parts that feed your soul and that you want to touch an audience, that I think can be fulfilled. That you can do. Stardom is an ephemeral thing. And I think you can achieve what you want to achieve if fame is not your goal. Because fame it's a fickle thing, Fame comes for some people and it doesn't come for other people. And I don't know what that is, how it comes for some people and it doesn't come for other people. But I do know that you can achieve being an artist. I do know that you can achieve being a writer. I do know that you can achieve being a director. I do know that you can achieve being an actor. I know you can be a painter. I know that you can be a sculptor. I know that you can be any kind of a creative person that you want to be, as long as it's in your heart and you apply yourself. And that's really the key, is that you have to apply yourself. If you really love it and you really want to go for it, you can't just give it a shot and be done. You got to keep pursuing it. You have to keep going for it. Whether that means doing community theater in your hometown, whether that means writing at home in your spare time after you get off of work or before you go to work, whatever that means for you, whatever your passion is, you need to keep pursuing that and feeding that and doing that so that you can feel fulfilled. Otherwise, I think it's a very hollow life. And I've written a screenplay about that. It means so much to me. I wrote a story about that, about someone who's not pursuing his passion, and he gets a real wake-up call from his wife that he needs to actually go out and figure out what that passion is and do it and pursue it. And it's not easy when you're not 18, 19 years old anymore, and you're around 40, and so you do it for many years, and how do you know when to stop trying? I think you stop trying only if it doesn't feed you anymore, only if it doesn't nourish your soul anymore. If it's not doing something for you. If it's doing something for you, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it does for anybody else. It doesn't matter if anybody else in the world loves what you do, appreciates what you do, gets what you do, acknowledges what you do. How many artists have we read about and heard about that they weren't appreciated until after they died? I mean, really. So this is about your life. It's your life. It's not anybody else's life. And if you're doing this for acknowledgement, for accolades, for appreciation, for money, then you're doing it for the wrong reason, and you should get out. Because a creative endeavor is difficult enough. It's so difficult just to begin with. Or it's easy. I mean, it can be, it's difficult to make a living at, let's put it that way. I mean, it's really difficult to make a living at, but it's easy to do if it's what you love. I mean, it's so easy to do if it's what you love. But if it's not something that you really love, and you're doing it for love, or for acceptance, or for appreciation, or for money, or to make a living, or for fame, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. And it's going to be really difficult. And it's going to hurt your heart, and it's going to hurt your soul when you don't get those things, when you put your art, your passion, your soul out into the world, and those things don't come back to you. It's going to hurt, and you're going to quit. You're going to get bitter, and you're going to quit. And that's when I say you're not doing it for the right reasons. Here's what I think. If you have a support system of a significant other, or a best friend, or someone who gets you and understands who you are and why you do what you do, then they will get that you, deep in your soul, are an artist, and they'll understand why you need to pursue what you're pursuing. They'll understand why you need to express yourself in an artistic way, in a creative way. So you'll get that acceptance from that person, and you'll get that support from that person, and that's really all you need. Although, really, you don't need it from anybody else. You really only need it from yourself. You really only need to know deep within yourself that you're doing the right thing. But if you have another person, if you have a significant other or a best friend or someone who really gets you, it does make the road easier, I have to say. I do have a husband who gets me, who understands that I'm a creative person, and he's a creative person too, and we both support each other in our creative and artistic endeavors. So it does make it easier to pursue these creative passions that we have. It would be more difficult for me to pursue these things without the support and the love from my husband. But you know what? If I didn't have him, I still would be doing what I'm doing. I would still be writing, and I would still be directing, and I would still be producing. And I would not be able to quit doing these things. I just would not. I don't know. I couldn't stop myself. I've tried to do other things. I've been a legal secretary, and I've sold flowers, and I've worked at the counter at a department store, and I just hate it. I really hate it. But you have to make a living when you're struggling and you're not making it. So I've done all these things. I realized my dreams were important to follow when I was a kid, because I was actually a piano player, and I started playing the piano when I was, I don't know, 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old, and my parents like said, she's a child prodigy. And I was like nurtured as a piano player, but it was not my love, playing the piano. And I realized pretty early on that it was not what I wanted to do with my life. But I was still kind of steered in that direction by my parents for the first 18, 20 years of my life. And it was just sort of understood that I was going to be a concert pianist. Even though as a kid I was writing little books and I picked up my dad's 8mm camera and I was shooting movies and I watched the Academy Awards and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that. And I watched movies and I wanted to do that. But I was sitting at the piano every day practicing for hours a day and giving recitals and concerts. So it was like an understood thing that I was going to be a concert pianist until I got old enough to go, you know what, that's not what I want to do. And I'm an adult now, so I can make my own decision. I didn't make my parents very happy, but at a certain point I said, I'm moving to Hollywood to pursue my dream of a career in the entertainment business, and that's that. And they just had to sort of accept it because I was an adult and I could make my own decisions. I still love music. I still play the piano, but I do it for myself now and not for anybody else.